Hey there! I was at a pen meet and I was talking to my friend Mike, and he said, "Do you know that app Wish?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I saw an advertisement on it for a Laami Safari for $8, and I thought that was kind of funny, so I purchased one." Weeks passed, Alberta weather switched from summer to winter, pretty much overnight, and all of a sudden the pen arrived. And Mike said, "Here, you should take this, you should review it." So now I have on loan this very interesting pen, which, as you can see, pretty much glows. Now, I have concluded that this is not a Laami Safari, first of all. If it would be a Safari. It's not a Safari, this is actually a Laami Fall Star. This is not an actual All-Star, even though it feels like it is some sort of aluminum. Well, I mean, yeah, so it is aluminum, I think. It feels very light, it has that feel to it, but it's not a Laami. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of go over this. So something he purchased through Wish, $8. I am going to cover the parts of this pen. I will do a writing sample, and I will tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. But that's pretty much all there is to it. So, let's get started. Okay, so the Laami Fall Star, here next to an actual Safari. I don't have an All-Star to show you, and I'm sorry, but in a nutshell, there is the Laami Safari made of ABS plastic, and then there is the actual Laami All-Star made of aluminum. Now, this, I will honestly say, is not a terrible pen. It actually has some pretty neat features. Especially from a distance, it definitely looks like an All-Star, but when you start to examine the pen up close, you do notice a few differences. First of all, there's this double ring at the top of the cap here. There's these weird rounded off finials, whereas the Safaris and All-Stars are known for the shapes. You have the plus sign for a fountain pen, there is a dot, and then there is, I think, a minus sign for I thought it was ballpoints and roller balls, or was it ballpoints and mechanical pencils? I'm sorry, I forget, I never use those. I only use this writing mode if I use a Safari at all. And then there is the fact that this whole pen is just a bit coarser. This is rather a sharp edge. It's not really nicely chiseled or filed down or anything. It's just basically plate steel, I would almost say. That's what it feels like. So that's a little coarser, and the section is quite nice and also looks like the clear All-Star sections, and the barrel even has the sort of rubbery ring right here that an actual All-Star has. So if I cover the parts of the pen, I just want to point out some of these differences, but let's do the parts of the pen. So you have this finial, right, which is a plastic, I think, and then you have all of this metal, the two rings there. We have the typical Laami clip, which works quite well. You have the little ink window, because this pen takes cartridges or converters. You have the shape of the Safari and All-Star barrels, and then you have a finial at the back there. The pen uncaps by just a simple snap cap. We have the clear section, which is quite nice, with a you can see the feed through the section. I understand that these pens do typically take actual Laami nibs. This is definitely the shape of a Laami nib, and then when you unscrew the barrel completely, you have a Laami style converter. I know people always get upset when I say that, but it is a Laami style converter. The reason I say that is that because then people say, yeah, but any converter is a converter, and every converter is a copy of any other converter in the world. Yes, except when it's not. Like in this case, this flat turning knob, that really is a Laami design. So I don't really care, that is the way it is. Having said that, this is our pen, and it does what it's supposed to do. It writes, it posts, and it is $8. So let's see if it really writes. I could not find any markings on this pen that indicate a brand, hence my description of this. And for the record, given that it is a clone, I'm going to put an extra A in there. It's the Laami Fall Star. Now, a bit of normal writing. This happens to be the fine nib. O, C, Q. It's definitely a feedbacky nib. However, it writes without skipping, and I have used pens that cost, say, this is an inside joke, but that barely write. And this pen actually writes. Out of the box it writes, so there is little to complain there. As to wetness, not a gusher, but by all means, especially for a fine nib, that is pretty nice and wet. Line variation, as always, very careful. It is a pretty stiff nib, so I would not expect too much in ways of line variation. And now for those of you who enjoy such a thing, it writes upside down too. And makes the nib even finer. Takes it from a good fine to an extra fine. So nothing to complain there as well. Yeah, what can we say? Well, I think we need to talk about what I like and what I don't like about this pen. Alright, the Laami Fall Star. Yeah, what can I say? It's $8, which is a lot cheaper than an All-Star is. I think those are $40 or something, what I recall. Yeah, there's the very, very long debate. Should we condone this type of behavior where a company basically blatantly copies another pen, or should we not? Now, this is the same discussion every time, and people say, but the patent has expired. Yes, I know that, but that doesn't mean that you immediately have to copy exactly down to pretty much the last detail a certain item. In my mind, even though, of course, legally, you may be utterly entitled to do so. I don't know if you really should do so. But again, that's just me, okay? So, what do you get for your $8? Well, you get a beautiful box, or packaging, I should say. Mike specifically gave me this. It's a bubble wrap envelope. And that's it. There's nothing else. For those $8, you buy a pen, and a pen that writes. You get a converter with it. It's cheaper than an actual All-Star, but it's not an All-Star. So you feel it. The edges are sharper. The finish, the fit and finish are not as smooth. But the build quality overall is decent. And yeah, it may be a bit cruder than the actual All-Stars are. But then it's only $8 and not $40. So if you want to try out if this pen is for you, you don't mind waiting a few weeks, because often there's quite a long delivery time, then you can get something that is cheaper than an actual All-Star is, and that would, for all intents and purposes, will give you a feeling for the All-Star pens. Is it a good thing? Is it not a good thing? I have very dual feelings about it. It's a good thing because you make something that another company charges more for and you sell it more cheaply. That means that people will go to you. That's just how our market works. On the other hand, as I said, even even when a patent has expired, that doesn't mean you immediately need to pounce on that and start to copy that very item, whatever it is. But it happens, and it happens all the time. So, again, I have very dual feelings about this, and I have still not fully decided how I feel. I kind of object to obvious copyright violations, but again, if a patent has expired, it's not really a copyright violation. On a moral level, I don't think it is great to just copy other people's products, even if that patent has expired. But then again, they make it more cheaply. Yeah, what can you say? So you have to make up your own mind. I send my very kind thanks to Mike for lending me his priceless Laami Fall Star. I hope this was useful. I hope you will give this some thought. What is your position on this? And to be honest, I would kind of like to hear. So make sure to leave a comment if you feel like it. And that's all there's to it. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.